Hey guys, it's me, RailGuyFEF, and I'm back again with another Trainz custom content video. And as you can see, I have Trainz Forge's 4449. Now, you guys can obviously see, well, I hope some of you guys see this. Some of you guys can obviously see that I made some few changes onto this model of 4449, and in this video I'm going to be explaining of what I changed onto the model. Anyways, let's begin. First things first, the Mars light and the headlight. I changed the texture of the headlight, obviously, because I just felt like that the headlight needed to be changed, and the Mars light as well. I definitely felt like that the Mars light definitely needed to be changed. And so far, it looks damn well realistic to the actual 4449's Mars light and headlight. And another thing I'd like to point out is the number plates. I made this, so before, okay, let me just say this, before Trainz Forge's 4449's number plate had like a bright reddish color, but I completely changed it to a dark reddish color because, well, the real life 4449's number plate has a dark reddish color. And another thing I want to point out that I changed is the numbers 4449. I made it a little bit darker. I made the white numbers a little bit more darker so it could look like 4449's number, so it could look realistic to 4449's number plate, if you guys understand what I mean. And if you guys have seen real photos of the locomotive. And also I did make the bolts a little bit more darker so it could look like it's bulging out. And so far, looks pretty damn well realistic. So that's enough of the front of the locomotive. Also, I did not change the air horn because I felt like it didn't need to be changed. It's perfect the way it is. And also, I did give this reskin to someone on Discord, so they're using it. They're having fun using it. And also, another thing I'd like to point out, this model is private, so any of you guys on YouTube that are begging for this reskin, don't start begging, because this model is not free. This model is not free at all. I am not giving away this model. This model is completely private, unless if there's a Trainz user that really needs it, like Fast Freight Productions, Defender, Engineer Daylight, or any other people that I know on Discord that are really that they are modelers or that they are reskinners. They'll have the permission to use this, but of course they're gonna have to ask me if they can use this model. But for those of you guys, and for any of my fans who want this model, sorry, but this model is private. I'm only giving away this model to Trainz content creators who really need it and who will probably use it for some videos, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, enough of that. Let's get to the bogies, or drivers. So, one thing I'd like to point out, I reskinned the driving wheels so it could look a lot more darker, especially these parts right here, so it could look a lot more darker, and it won't have that light grayish color, because the old Trainz Forge 4449 had that light grayish color, and that didn't look realistic at all. The thing looked like a model toy. The thing actually looked like a model toy when I compared it to my reskin of 4449. That's just my opinion. That's just my opinion of Trainz Forge's 4449. But anyway, yeah, I made the pilot trucks darker, and I made the trailing trucks darker. So there you go. And along with the driving wheels. And let's get to the paint itself. I made the orange and the red darker, obviously, and along with the black paint as well. You guys may not notice it, but I did make the black paint on top of 4449 darker, because let's just say Trainz Forge's 4449 looked too light. The color on the locomotive looked really light. It didn't look accurate, and it didn't look realistic enough. So I obviously made the orange darker, the red darker, and the logo and the daylight logo darker. Now I did not make the silver part right here darker yet. I did not make it darker yet. And what do you mean by yet? Because I am not done with this reskin. Well, I kinda am, but the thing is, I'm going back to see if this thing needs a few changes, and if it does, then it's back to the drawing board. Anyway, yeah, I think that's pretty much it for this model. Oh yeah, and one thing I'd like to point out, the handrails, I made them darker so it could look more realistic. Unfortunately, when I reskinned the handrails, these handrails right here also got dark. I don't know why. And one last thing I'd like to point out. This part right here used to be green, but I changed it to a darkish gray because the real 4449 has a darkish gray thing right here. Like a cover, or I think it's like some kind of roof, or I'm not really sure. But anyways, that's it for the locomotive. Now with the tender. Now the tender, there's not too much to talk about. Other than I made the ladders, like I made the colors of the ladders and the tender itself darker so it can match this 4449's color, and it did. It actually, the damn tender actually did match the locomotive's color. At first I thought it didn't, but never mind. It actually did match the locomotive's color. And I also like to point out the bogies are also dark. They're not light grayish anymore. The tender bogies are not that light grayish color anymore, so yep, there you go. And okay, what else? Yeah, I think that's pretty much it for the tender, because all I did was just make the daylight colors darker. Oh yeah. I also made the handrails darker as well. I also made them like this color, because of course the real 4449's handrails are this exact color. Now the auxiliary tender. Again, not that much to say not that much to say, because the auxiliary tender, it doesn't have that much changes. Other than the bogies are also dark as well. Or the trucks, the tender trucks, wherever you call them. But yeah, there's not much to say on the auxiliary tender, other than the paint is darker as well. So there you go. Anyways, that's... Oh yeah, one last thing. The handrails are also a grayish color, and unfortunately these also turned out gray. I have no idea why, but it turned out gray for some reason. And also this part right here, so that just looks ugly as hell. Anyways, that's it for the That's it for the. Oh my god. That's it for my reskin of 4449. And now let's compare it to Trainz Forge's 4449. Let me just get the locomotive. Let me put it right here. Here we go. Now let's get the tender and the auxiliary tender. There we go. Now let's compare the two so you can guys see the complete changes I made on both of these models. Alright, here we go. First things first, smoke box door. The color of the smoke box door is a bit darker, and the number plate, I honestly said this. I obviously I obviously said that the number plate had a light reddish color on the original model, and it does, as you can see. So that's one thing that I changed on this model. And as you can see, the original model has a light orange color, which, let's be honest, looks so fucking ugly. Oh yeah, it also has a light reddish color, which also looks ugly. Unlike my reskin of 4449. And just to let you guys know, when I reskin locomotives, I try to make them look realistic as hell. So let me know in the comments if my reskin of 4449 right here looks realistic and accurate to the real life 4449. Let me know in the comments. And now the driving wheels and the bogies, or pilot and trailing truck. And of course there's these gray parts, which I really do not like at all. And I really hate seeing that because it just doesn't look good at all. It just looks so awful. It just looks ugly as hell. I really hate seeing this. And that's oh my god. And it's a good thing that I reskinned the drivers and the pilot and trailing truck, because these drivers and pilot and trailing truck they don't look realistic at all. However, these ones do. And I'm glad that I made these realistic. I'm so glad when I reskinned these, I made them look realistic as hell. And everyone on Discord, like in my server and on other servers, agreed that that the drivers and the pilot and trailing truck look realistic as hell. Because of course, it's supposed to look realistic because of the colors, of course, and the fact it doesn't have that ugly looking grayish part. Now, for those of you guys who do like this gray part, I'm not gonna say anything to you. I'm not gonna say anything mean to you. I'm just gonna say this: like what you like. Feel free to just say what you like. You don't have to like my reskin. Just feel free to feel free to like this original version of Trainz Forge's 4449. I'm not gonna hate you or anything. And now the tender. Now you can completely see the major difference between the tender and the reskin tender. Oh yeah, and as you can see, just like I said, I made this part right here a dark gray color, and I did. So there you go. And now, wait, hold on, let me get rid of this. And as you can see, the handrails on here are gray, while these ones are black, which is also another thing I just wanted to point out. And I must say, this tender right here looks a lot more realistic to the real life 4449 tender. Man, I like making random voices. And now the auxiliary tender. The auxiliary tender, there's not much to say about the auxiliary tender except for the paint. The paint looks a lot more accurate and realistic, unlike this one right here. But anyway, yeah, that is all that I changed onto this 4449 model. So this is completely much of a revamp of the original Trainz Forge's 4449. Originally I was going to reskin jointed rails 4449, but I decided to do Trainz Forge's 4449 instead because, well, it definitely needed to be changed, as you can see of how it looks. But anyway, yeah, that's it for the reskin. That's it for that's it for today's Trainz custom content video. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Let me know in the comments what you think of this reskin, and I'll see you guys next time. Oh, and one thing, I will work on the 1K special today. And I know I said I will work on the 1K special. I am completely sorry that I didn't get to work on it and I didn't upload it on time, but this time I will start working on it. So stay tuned for the 1K special and get ready because, like I said, my series American Rails is coming back. So get ready. Anyways, I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.